My name is Dr. Robert Worsham. In recent years, JRC has received a growing number of referrals on students with Asperger's disorder. Asperger's disorder students can be extremely difficult to educate due to their violent disruptive behaviors when they develop them. They don't seem to be susceptible to social consequences or peer pressure, sanction from authority figures in controlling or discouraging these behaviors. They may develop violent and disruptive behaviors in response to being teased by peers, in response to being interrupted from their inflexible ways of doing things, or as a response to teachers' attempts to educate them. These disruptive behaviors can become very resistant to positive-only programming because of being negatively reinforced by escape from demands or giving in by educational staff. In many cases, they typically end up on medications like antipsychotics, tranquilizers, or mood-altering medications. This young man right here is a 15-year-old student with Asperger's disorder from Fresno, California, and there was recently an article in the Fresno Bee newspaper about him. His teacher charged him with assault and battery because he pushed her in class and threw 2 chairs at her. And basically the police came and hauled him away and charged him. And so this is not an unimportant problem. We present data on the use of contingent shock for 6 students with Asperger's disorder and on 1 student with Asperger's disorder for positive-only programming. Pre-admission, they had been treated with 5, 4, 8, 7, 12, 5, and 7 different psychiatric medications respectively without clinically significant success. 5 of the 6 had been previously hospitalized, and all students subsequently at JRC have been medication-free. All 7 students were first treated with a reward system in the form of DRO contracts and special contracts targeted at the function of their problematic behaviors. The time period for this ranged from 9 weeks to 17 months. The first 6 figures show a representative chart from each student treated with contingent shock. The first part of the data along here represent their response to positive-only programming, and the second part of the data represent their response to contingent shock. In all 6 cases, the subsequent treatment of violent and disruptive behaviors with contingent shock resulted in a rapid reduction of their targeted behaviors. This is a monthly chart with totals. This student actually accelerated in frequency on positive programming, and as some of the students that Mitch just talked about, had an extremely positive response to the treatment. This is 2 separate charts for 1 young lady, one for aggression and one for major disruptive, and again we have a rapid reduction. This particular student is interesting. We gave it a really good try with positive-only programming, and when he went on GED, his behaviors were suppressed very strongly. However, he has a residual amount of behaviors along here, and his particular problem was that he had some very serious verbal behaviors that we ended up treating in the major disruptive category, and we became very creative in defining that topography as rude, derogatory comments of a vicious, hurtful nature. And examples of things that he would be consequated for were telling people, "You're fat, you smell, I hope you die," and using obscene gestures with his fingers and arms. These behaviors can certainly keep him from participating in society or in public in many cases. This is another student who also showed a rapid deceleration. Once he got original suppression, we got another deceleration trend right here, and presently his behaviors are very close to 0. This last chart is the student, no, this one was also treated with GED also. He had widely fluctuating problematic behaviors. One characteristic about these students is sometimes they can be very, very good, and then other times when they lose it, their problematic behaviors are extremely high. And this last student was a student that was treated with positive-only programming, and he was a person that over time did respond to the positive programming, and his behaviors weren't so intense that we had to seek court-authorized treatments. And we got a nice deceleration there. And this is a monthly chart, so this frequency ends up being like 2 to 3 per month. The results show that contingent shock rapidly decelerated the violent disruptive behaviors of 6 students with Asperger's disorder, and the reduction to these extremely low levels allowed immediate subsequent advancement in educational progress, a continued medication-free and restraint-free condition, and the opportunity to be in less restrictive residential and educational environments. The results for the student not treated with contingent shock does show that positive systems can be successful with Asperger's disorders students who have less intense forms of problematic behaviors. However, the reduction a little bit slower over time. Okay, thank you very much.